Perspective. This morning we're privileged to have in studio a number of young Kenyans to discuss this hashtag, Sirini Numbers. So is it Sirini Numbers or Sirini Ballot? That will be the main discussion. So allow me to introduce these young Kenyans, beginning with SK Kajwang, who's a young Kenyan, karibu sana to TV47. Next to Bwana Kajwang, we have Karu Clara, a youth leader from Kajiado County, karibu sana. Next we have Omwoyo Maranga, who's a UPA Strategic Communications Advisor. It's a pleasure having you in studio. Haya Dennis, who has been on this panel before, is a chairperson, Kenya Youth with Disabilities Association. It's good to have you in studio, Dennis. We have Ramadan Abdul, who's an aspirant for the position of MP in Embakasi Central Constituency. It's a pleasure, karibu sana. And last but not least, Joyce Nyambura, Assistant Organizing Secretary, NUCSA. What's NUCSA?
Nairobi Universities and Colleges Student Association.
Great. Nairobi Universities and Colleges Students Association. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. But before we even come to Sirini Number, Sirini Ballot, I'm sure you've seen the front pages today. Forget about the church in State House. It's more about what has affected the young Kenyans in recent days and weeks. Issues around abductions, issues around protests, and you can see the front page of the Standard, especially a lot of doubt being expressed here in this headline, Ndiang'ui puzzle, on whether or not the story that's coming out that he has been in hiding for the last 12 or 13 days is actually authentic, or is there more than meets the eye? I'd like to get your views on, even as we discuss the safety of young Kenyans, given the fact that we are taking part in protests. And that story has been juxtaposed with what's happening in Homa Bay with the burial of Albert Ojwang, another young Kenyan who was killed or who died while in police custody, and what happened yesterday in Homa Bay when youth took over the body, marched to the police station where Ojwang was initially taken immediately after his arrest, and they torched the police station. Let's start off with the puzzle. And do you feel that there could be more than meets the eye in this issue? Or do you agree that it's an open and shut case? This young Kenyan was simply hiding somewhere. Kajwang.
Thank you. There's a famous quote by Martin Luther King Jr., which said that it is not possible to be in favor of justice to some people and not be in favor of justice for all the people. Therefore, as young people of this country, hii mchezo tunaijua, hii mchezo ya town. And because none of us here was with this young man, where he was, I cannot therefore ascertain, or in my own personal opinion, I cannot ascertain where he was. But again, I ask myself questions, because in recent days, we have seen so many young people disappear. Then some of them are found dead, some of them are found maimed, some of them are found brutally killed, like Ojwang, as you've seen. Therefore, it is incumbent upon the government operatives to tell us where this young man was. Therefore, when he was presented to court yesterday, there were questions on probably where he was. The DCI also trying to answer questions on trying to hide that this guy might have just taken himself out, hide. But it is not possible for someone to just take himself out and hide. And even we have seen these things before. It is pure thuggery, because this guy, before atoke, hakuwa amenyolewa. And we have seen these cases before. Unakuta mtu anapelekwa, ananyolewa, analetwa, akiwa kama pamba, amenyolewa kabisa. So we want to ask the government institutions, the government operatives, to be very clear to Kenyans and come and tell us the truth. Because this is not the first case that we are getting. So as young people of Kenya, we are very much frustrated with what the government is doing in not maintaining the stability of the country.
So simply you're not buying that narrative?
I'm not buying that narrative at all.
Clara, do you see a narrative more than what we are seeing? Do you share in the doubts expressed on the front page of the Standard?
Thank you very much. According to me, I think Ndiang'ui can be the best person that can tell us what really happened. But according to me, you know, this Kenya, the way my friend said that tunajua hii mchezo ya town, Ndiang'ui can maybe come out and tell us what really happened, But according to me, maybe for his security purposes, as we saw him saying some other time, he went hiding for his security purposes. So, yeah, I think, according to me, I can say, I think he's the one to really tell us what really happened.
The kind of effect that this kind of story has is that it could possibly delegitimize genuine cases of abductions, that people are really being abducted, but if it's true he had been hiding, that many people will doubt anyone else who comes out and claims that he has been abducted. Do you agree that this could be more than what meets the eye?
Fred, let me tell you, Ndiang'ui, the software engineer, was abducted and detained. The only reason why he came out was after the Honorable Judge Mwita said that produce him dead or alive on Thursday. How comes, coincidentally, the timing was on that same Thursday, Ndiang'ui arrives in court, shaven like what we saw happened in December with the case of Billy Mwangi, Kibet Bol, and Bernard Kavuli. Ndiang'ui is a man who treasured his hair. I mean, his software ideas, probably he believed they were in his hair. He could not have just suddenly shaved himself clean. And that is the narrative, actually, the DCI wants to build, that how can we discredit abductions, such that next time when we abduct someone, we say that he was in some party somewhere, that he overdrank somewhere, that he is just hiding, so that there is no that public outcry. In fact, the only reason why I think the young man is alive is because we Gen Zs made noise. I mean, because the Gen Z made noise that produced Ndiang'ui. And what the state is refusing to understand is that there are so many Ndiang'uis. I mean, there are so many Ojwangs. Yesterday, you saw what happened in Homa Bay. Ojwang was presented to his people with a bigger crowd than even the MP who died in Homa Bay the other day.